The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Finn's shower spy, Dylan can't take her eyes off new obsession? The Bold and the Beautiful, B&B. Spoilers hint that John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, may soon have a shower spy. Will Dylan, Sydney Bullock, find that she can't take her eyes off her new obsession? Dylan was distraught over wiping Finn's daughter off the map, so she visited him with updates and heartfelt apology following Luna Nazua's, Lisa Yamada, demise. Finn offered plenty of reassurance and pulled Dylan into a warm embrace, so something may have shifted inside for the potentially lonely teacher. Dylan was traumatized multiple times by Luna, who held her hostage before the shooting chaos went down. Of course, Dylan also accidentally ran over Luna with her car, so all of this has really taken a toll on her. Dylan seemed touched over Finn's forgiveness and the sweet words he offered her in a difficult moment. Finn is a kind, attractive man with so many wonderful qualities, so no one could blame Dylan if she developed a crush. However, between Dylan's trauma and B&B's need for another out-of-control character, there are good reasons to worry about the path Dylan is headed down. That brings us to some intriguing B&B spoilers for the December 26th episode. That's when Dylan will gather at the beach house with Finn, Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace. If this story were just about Electra and Will, it would have been easy to leave Steffi and Finn out of it. The fact that Finn and Steffi will be at the beach house for this party too is interesting. The show also released a preview video for the week of December 22nd to 26th that shows Finn rinsing off under Will's outdoor shower. Finn's about to put that sizzling six-pack of his on full display. So what if Dylan ends up spying nearby? This could be a sign that Dylan is getting a little too fixated on Finn and might be a hint about where the storyline is going. Will just had a stalker story involving Luna, and before that, Electra had one of her own since Remy Price, Christian Weissman, was obsessed with her. Maybe it'll be Finn's turn to have a stalker scare if Dylan's potential crush spirals into disturbing territory. Will and Electra will invite Dylan to stay the night with them, but maybe their role in all this is a bit of a red herring. Dylan's real obsession might be with Finn and could give him a new storyline along with Steffi. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say some wild Dylan news could be coming up, so stay tuned for updates on all the drama. In a week that has already been defined by gut-wrenching confessions and the lingering shadows of a tragic death, The Bold and the Beautiful has just dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. While the residents of Los Angeles are trying to move forward after the shocking demise of Luna Nozoa, a new, darker mystery is beginning to unfurl at the Cliff House. The latest reports suggest a very sad turn of events for Dr. John Finn Finnegan. But it isn't just about his grief. It's about a prying eye, a steaming shower, and a new obsession that could dismantle the Shin, Steffi and Finn happily ever after. The heartbreak behind the headlines. For weeks, Finn has been grappling with the complicated reality of Luna's death point one, despite her unhinged behavior and the terror she inflicted on his family. She was still his biological daughter. The tragedy of her being struck by a car felt like a final, cruel punctuation mark on a story that never had a chance to be healthy. But the sad news today isn't just about the loss. It's about the vulnerability of the survivors. Finn and Steffi Forrester thought they could finally breathe. They shared a poignant moment recently, declaring that the danger was over. They were wrong. The shower spy, who is watching Finn? Soap opera fans know that the outdoor shower at the Cliff House is a recurring character in its own right. It has been the site of romance, reflection, and, more often than not, espionage. In a chilling sequence teased for upcoming episodes, Finn seeks a moment of solitude. Under the cascading water, he attempts to wash away the stress of the hit-and-run investigation and the weight of his fatherly guilt. But the camera pans away from his face to a pair of eyes watching from the brush. The shower spy is none other than Dylan, Sydney Bullock. Why Dylan? Dylan was the one who accidentally struck Luna with her car .2, while Finn has shown her incredible grace, even hugging her and offering forgiveness after her confession. It seems that his kindness has triggered something unexpected. For Dylan, Finn isn't just a doctor or the father of the girl she killed. He is a savior. In her fragile mental state, she has begun to project a desperate need for redemption onto him. What started as a quest for forgiveness has rapidly spiraled into a dark, voyeuristic obsession. Dylan's new obsession, a mirror of Luna? The irony of this storyline is not lost on B&B viewers. For months, Luna was the one stalking, obsessing, and manipulating. Now that she is gone, it appears her replacement has arrived in the form of the very woman who ended her life. Dylan has been staying close to Will Spencer and Electra Forrester, but her attention has shifted. Sources indicate that Dylan can't take her eyes off Finn. Point 3, it isn't just a crush. It's a fixation rooted in a psychological break. The hero worship. Finn's decision to forgive her has made him a godlike figure in her eyes. The proximity, being welcomed into the inner circle by Electra, and Will has given Dylan unprecedented access to the Forrester Finnegan private life. The trigger, seeing Finn and Steffi's perfect life, reminds Dylan of what she has lost, or what she feels she needs to possess to feel whole again. Is Steffi in danger? If there is one thing we know about Steffi Forrester, it's that she has a sixth sense for when someone is targeting her husband. However, with her focus currently on her grandfather Eric Forrester's health and the brewing corporate war at Forrester Creations, she may be blindsided. The sadness of this news lies in the cycle of trauma. Finn just got his life back. He survived Sheila Carter. He survived Luna's madness. And now he is being hunted by a woman he believes he is helping. It's a tragedy in the making, says one insider. Finn thinks he's being a healer, but he's actually feeding a monster. Dylan doesn't want his forgiveness anymore. She wants his life. What happens next? 3 theories. As the shower spy continues to lurk, here is how this storyline could potentially explode. Scenario: the potential fallout. The setup: Dylan plants evidence to make it look like Finn is interested in her, driving a wedge between him and Steffi. The kidnapping: taking a page out of the Sheila Carter handbook. Dylan tries to save Finn from his life by taking him away. The redemption twist: Finn realizes Dylan is sick and tries to treat her, leading to a dangerous confrontation where Steffi has to save him. Why this news is very sad for fans. The sadness stems from the fact that Finn is one of the few truly good characters left on the canvas. To see his compassion used against him is a bitter pill for the audience to swallow. After the heavy loss of Luna, fans were hoping for a period of peace, perhaps a quiet Christmas with Kelly and Hayes. Instead, it looks like the holidays at the Cliff House will be spent under the watchful eye of a woman who has lost her grip on Los Angeles. Feels heavier today, and for fans of the bold and the beautiful, the sadness cuts especially deep. What began as quiet unease has now curdled into something darker, more unsettling, an emotional storm that threatens to tear apart trust, marriages, and fragile minds. At the center of it all, John Finn Finnegan, a moment that never should have happened, and Dylan, a woman whose fixation has crossed a line that can't be unseen. This is not just another scandal. This is a tragedy in slow motion, a private moment that wasn't private at all. Finn has always been portrayed as steady, moral, and deeply devoted to Steffi, a man grounded in medicine and ethics, someone fans trusted to be the calm in the chaos of the Forrester universe. That's why today's revelation hits so hard. What should have been an ordinary, private moment, Finn in the shower, alone with his thoughts, was anything but. Unbeknownst to him, someone was watching, someone lingering, someone who shouldn't have been there at all. The realization that Finn's personal space was violated is chilling. It's not titillation or scandal for scandal's sake. It's deeply uncomfortable. The kind of moment that makes viewers uneasy because it strikes too close to real fears. The loss of privacy, the sense of being watched, the knowledge that safety can be an illusion. And when the truth begins to surface, the sadness lies not only in what happened, but in who is responsible. Dylan's descent, from curiosity to obsession. Dylan's presence on the bold and the beautiful has always carried an edge. At first, she seemed like another complicated soul orbiting the powerful families of Los Angeles. Flawed, curious, searching for connection. But over time, something shifted. Her glances lingered too long. Her questions became too personal. Her interest in Finn stopped feeling innocent. Now, fans are forced to confront the truth. Dylan can't take her eyes off Finn, and what started as fascination has spiraled into obsession. The saddest part? Dylan may not even fully understand how far she's fallen. Obsession often masquerades as longing, as admiration, as harmless attraction. But crossing boundaries, especially ones as sacred as personal privacy, marks a dangerous turn. Watching Dylan unravel is heartbreaking. Not because her actions are excusable, but because they signal someone losing control. Someone grasping for something that was never hers to take. Finn, an unwitting victim. Finn didn't ask for this. He didn't provoke it. He didn't even know it was happening. And that's what makes this storyline so heavy. In a world where men are often expected to be invulnerable, Finn's situation quietly challenges that assumption. Being watched without consent, being turned into the object of someone else's fixation, is a violation, no matter who you are. When Finn eventually realizes what happened, the emotional fallout promises to be devastating. Confusion, anger, shame, a gnawing question that won't let go. How long has this been going on? That kind of betrayal doesn't fade easily. It leaves cracks in a person's sense of safety, cracks that can widen if left unaddressed. Steffi's world on the brink. As always, the shadow of this secret stretches far beyond Finn alone. Steffi has fought tirelessly for stability, for her family, for her marriage, for peace after years of chaos involving Sheila and heartbreak. The thought that another threat has slipped past her defenses is cruel irony. When Steffi learns the truth, and she will, the pain won't just be about Dylan's actions. It will be about the fear that danger was closer than she ever imagined. That someone was watching her husband while she believed they were finally safe. Steffi's strength has never been in doubt, but even the strongest hearts can fracture when trust is shaken at its core. The creeping silence of secrets. What makes this storyline especially sad is the silence surrounding it. Dylan hasn't confessed. Finn doesn't yet know. Steffi senses something is off, but can't name it. Secrets have a way of poisoning everything they touch. They sit in the background, growing heavier by the day, until the truth explodes, usually at the worst possible moment. Fans can already feel the tension tightening. Every shared scene between Finn and Dylan now carries an uncomfortable weight. Every smile feels forced. Every pause feels loaded with unspoken dread. It's not dramatic fireworks yet. It's something worse. Slow, suffocating inevitability. Obsession rarely ends quietly. Longtime viewers of the bold and the beautiful know one thing for certain. Obsessions don't fade away on their own. They escalate. Dylan's inability to look away from Finn suggests this is far from over. If being a silent observer no longer satisfies her, what comes next? Another boundary crossed? Another rationalization? Another step into darkness? That's what makes today's news so sad. This isn't a single mistake. It's the beginning of a path that could lead to devastating consequences for everyone involved, including Dylan herself. Obsession doesn't just harm its target. It consumes the person feeling it, hollowing them out until nothing else matters. Echoes of past trauma. For Finn, this situation may reopen old wounds. His life has already been shaped by danger, manipulation, and the constant threat posed by Sheila. To think that safety could be breached again, this time in such a personal, invasive way, adds another layer of tragedy. The cruel twist is that Finn has worked so hard to protect others, yet couldn't protect himself from something he never saw coming. That kind of irony is classic soap storytelling, but it's also deeply sad. Fans react with shock and sorrow. Across fan communities, the reaction has been swift and emotional. Many viewers aren't excited, they're disturbed. This isn't juicy drama one fan wrote, "It's unsettling." Another shared, "I feel awful for Finn." This crossed a line, and that reaction speaks volumes. The Bold and the Beautiful thrives on scandal, but this storyline taps into something more serious, more uncomfortable, more real. It forces viewers to sit with questions about consent, boundaries, and mental health, wrapped in the glossy world of soap opera glamour. Where does the story go from here? That's the question, hanging heavy in the air. Will Dylan be confronted before her obsession spirals further? Will Finn learn the truth in time to protect himself and his family? Will Steffi once again be forced into survival mode? No matter how it unfolds, the damage has already begun. Trust has been compromised. Safety has been breached. Innocence, if it ever existed, is gone. Today's very sad news isn't just about a shocking moment. It's about the emotional wreckage that follows when lines are crossed and secrets fester. A quiet tragedy in the making. Sometimes the saddest stories aren't loud. They don't arrive with sirens or shouting matches. They creep in quietly behind closed doors, in moments that should have been safe. Finn's shower spy and Dylan's growing obsession mark one of those stories. And as the Bold and the Beautiful continues to unfold, viewers are left watching with heavy hearts, hoping for accountability, healing, and an end to the darkness before it claims very sad news from the Bold and the Beautiful has fans reeling, uneasy, and heartbroken as a chilling new storyline begins to unfold. What starts as discomfort quickly spirals into something far more disturbing, raising serious questions about trust, obsession, and how far one person might go when boundaries blur. At the center of it all, Finn, unknowingly pulled into a violation of privacy, and Dylan, whose fixation may be crossing a line she can't come back from. This isn't just another dramatic twist. It's a slow-burn tragedy, one that feels painfully real. Finn's world shattered by a disturbing discovery. Finn has always been portrayed as the calm in the storm, ethical, grounded, a man who believes in doing the right thing, even when it costs him. That's what makes this storyline so heartbreaking. Spoilers suggest Finn is about to realize that his personal space, his most private moments, may no longer be safe. The word spreading through Los Angeles. Someone has been watching. Unbeknownst to Finn, a hidden presence lurks far too close for comfort. The idea that someone could spy on him during something as ordinary and vulnerable as a shower sends a chill through the fan base. This isn't playful intrigue or harmless curiosity. This is a violation, and the emotional fallout is expected to be devastating. When Finn begins to sense something is wrong, strange noises, subtle movements, an unshakable feeling of being watched, it won't be paranoia. It will be instinct. And tragically, he may ignore that instinct for too long. Dylan's gaze turns darker and more dangerous. All signs point to Dylan as the source of this unsettling obsession. At first, her interest in Finn may have seemed innocent, even sympathetic. A lingering glance. A conversation held a beat too long. But spoilers warn that Dylan's emotions are no longer under control. She can't look away. And worse, she doesn't want to. Dylan's fixation appears to deepen into something unhealthy, blurring fantasy and reality. Instead of stepping back, she leans in, feeding the obsession rather than confronting it. The line between admiration and intrusion disappears, replaced by behavior that is quietly, disturbingly invasive. What makes this story so sad isn't just what Dylan might do, it's why. Insiders hint that Dylan may be acting out of loneliness, rejection, or unresolved emotional trauma. She doesn't see herself as a villain. In her mind, she's simply close to Finn, connected, entitled. That delusion is what makes her so dangerous. A storyline rooted in emotional pain. This arc hits harder than most because it doesn't rely on over-the-top villains or dramatic showdowns, at least not yet. Instead, it unfolds in silence, in secrecy, in moments where Finn feels uneasy but can't explain why. There's something profoundly sad about watching a good man slowly lose his sense of safety in his own home. Spoilers suggest Finn will wrestle with self-doubt once the truth starts to surface. Did he imagine it? Did he somehow invite this attention? The emotional damage could be just as painful as the act itself, especially if those around him dismiss his fears. And if Dylan is exposed, the fallout won't just destroy her, it could permanently alter Finn's ability to trust. Steffi's intuition may arrive too late. Fans are already speculating that Steffi will sense something is off. She knows Finn better than anyone. She'll notice his tension, his distraction, his growing discomfort. But the real tragedy may be timing. What if Steffi realizes the danger only after the damage is done? Spoilers tease that Steffi could confront Dylan, leading to a tense and emotionally charged showdown. But will it stop the obsession or inflame it? When someone is already spiraling, being confronted doesn't always bring clarity. Sometimes it accelerates the fall. That possibility casts a shadow over every scene to come. Why this storyline feels so heavy. This isn't just another soap scandal. It touches on themes that feel uncomfortably real. Privacy violations, obsession, and the silent suffering of victims who don't know how to speak up. Finn's pain isn't loud. It's internal, and that makes it harder to spot, harder to stop. Meanwhile, Dylan's descent is equally tragic. Instead of seeking help or facing her feelings honestly, she chooses secrecy, control, illusion. Every step she takes deeper into obsession pulls her further away from redemption. By the time the truth is exposed, it may already be too late for everyone involved. What happens next? Spoilers hint that the revelation will come suddenly and explosively. Finn may uncover evidence that confirms his worst fears, forcing him to confront a truth he never imagined. Dylan, cornered, could react unpredictably, making the situation even more dangerous. Will she confess? Will she deny everything? Or will her obsession push her to one final, irreversible mistake? No matter how it unfolds, one thing is clear. This storyline is heading toward heartbreak. Final thoughts. A quiet tragedy in the making. Today's very sad news from the bold and the beautiful reminds us that not all villains announce themselves, and not all victims realize they're being hurt until it's too late. Finn's shower spy storyline is unsettling, emotional, and deeply tragic, shining a light on how obsession can grow in silence and destroy lives without warning. As Dylan's eyes remain fixed on Finn, unable or unwilling to look away, fans are left with one haunting season in Los Angeles is anything but merry for the residents of the Cliff House and the Beach House. As the bold and the beautiful heads into the final week of 2025, a dark cloud is looming over the fan-favorite couple, Steffi and Finn. While the air should be filled with Christmas carols and the warmth of family, spoilers for the week of December 22nd to 26th suggest a very sad and unsettling turn of events that could change Shin forever. The drama centers on a chilling new dynamic involving John Finn Finnegan and the newcomer who has been carrying a heavy burden, Dylan. The weight of guilt, Dylan's dark history. To understand why this news is so heartbreaking, we have to look back at the trauma Dylan, Sydney Bullock, has endured and caused. Dylan was recently revealed to be the driver in the hit-and-run that claimed the life of Luna Nozowa. The guilt has been eating her alive, and in a moment of pure vulnerability, she confessed the truth to Finn and Steffi. Finn, being the compassionate doctor and devoted father he is, offered Dylan a level of forgiveness that many fans found saintly. He pulled her into a comforting embrace, trying to help her navigate the trauma of what happened. However, in the world of soaps, no good deed goes unpunished. It seems Finn's kindness may have sparked something dangerous inside Dylan's fragile mind. The shower spy incident. The high engagement spoilers point to a specific, skin-crawling moment occurring at Will Spencer's beach house. During a holiday gathering involving Will, Electra, Steffi, Finn, and Dylan, things take a voyeuristic turn. Finn, looking to rinse off after some time on the beach, uses the outdoor shower. While he thinks he is alone, he is being watched. Spoilers indicate that Dylan, who is staying the night at the beach house upon the invitation of Will and Electra, finds herself unable to look away. This isn't just a crush, it's the birth of a new obsession. The look in Dylan's eyes as she spies on Finn in the shower isn't one of admiration, but of a woman who is beginning to project her need for salvation onto the man who forgave her. Why this is very sad news. The end of Shin's peace. Steffi and Finn have fought through Sheila Carter's many resurrections to find stability. To have their peace threatened by a young woman they tried to help is a tragic irony, a fragile mind snapping. Dylan is clearly suffering from PTSD after the Luna tragedy. Watching her spiral from a remorseful victim into an obsessed stalker is a heartbreaking trajectory for a character viewers were starting to pity. Steffi's intuition. We know Steffi is protective of her family. When she inevitably senses that Dylan is getting too close to her husband, it will lead to another Forrester versus outsider battle that will tear the holiday spirit apart. Dylan's new obsession. Can she take her eyes off him? The title says it all. Dylan can't take her eyes off new obsession. Sources suggest that Dylan begins to view Finn as her savior. In her mind, Finn is the only one who truly understands her pain, and that gratitude is curdling into something possessive. While Will and Electra are busy with their own romantic drama and the fallout of the Deke versus Thomas conflict at Forrester Creations, Dylan is hiding in plain sight. She is the quiet guest in the corner, the one who watches Finn's every move and tracks his every word. The shower spy scene is just the beginning. It serves as the visual confirmation that Dylan has crossed a line from which there is no return. Christmas 2025. A toast to danger. On Friday, December 26th, the families gather to toast to the holidays. On the surface, it looks like a beautiful reconciliation. But for those watching closely, the tension is palpable. The toast. While the group raises their glasses, Dylan's focus remains locked on Finn. The hidden secret. Finn remains oblivious to the fact that he is being hunted by the very person he tried to heal. The Logan/Forrester split. While the beach house drama boils, Katie and Brooke are facing their own rift as Katie prepares to launch her own fashion house, potentially pulling Eric Forrester away from Ridge and Steffi. What happens next? Is Dylan the next Sheila Carter in the making? Or is she just a broken girl who has lost her way? Fans are already taking to social media to voice their concerns. If Dylan becomes a full-fledged stalker, Finn's safety and his marriage are at risk. The saddest part of this spoiler is the realization that kindness can be a liability. Finn's heart is his greatest strength, but in this case, it might be the very thing that invites a predator into his home.